Hi there, this is Daniel from theScore eSports, and I'm here with PR Balrog the day before EVO. And I think I want to start with what is on everybody's mind. What do you think of Balrog?
At the start, I thought he was a really bad character because he had no defense. But after playing him for 2 weeks, it hasn't been that long. He's been pretty good. I feel that he's a stronger character than most of the cast. So it's been going pretty good. At least it's not going down; it's going up. So I like that.
Yeah, I checked. I don't know how much you play online, but I did check. Like, there's the online rankings right now on CFN. You're still up there. You're still It's definitely high up with Balrog now. I think last time we talked to you, actually, you said you weren't necessarily sure what you wanted out of Balrog. You were, you wanted strong normals, and I think he definitely has good normals right now.
It's okay. I feel some of his normals are very stubby. They don't reach very well, but I feel that is not one of his strengths anymore. He has other strengths.
So what do you think those strengths are?
His pressure is very good. His anti-airs are very, very good too. And I like his damage and stun, which is kind of my playstyle.
Yeah.
I like that.
So speaking of which, how do what do you think of this Balrog? Because Balrog, I think classically Balrog was like a defensive character, but by Street Fighter 4, he was definitely played towards a little bit more offensively, and Street Fighter 5 sort of a more offensive game overall in terms of like high damage output, long combos, getting aggression fast. Do you think Balrog plays well to, I guess, the style of Street Fighter 5?
At the start, I didn't think so, because of course there was no tech. But now, I can see how different he is from his other versions. I was actually talking to Ultra David about this, and he said, you know what, Balrog is kind of like ST, as in Super Turbo Balrog. Which I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So now that I see that, he is an extremely aggressive character, and I like that because the game actually promotes that. There's defense, of course, in the game, but the aggressiveness of the game, I think that's where he shines also. So.
One of the things that was you mentioned about this game, about Street Fighter 5, was that when you're waking up, you don't really have a lot of options compared to the person attacking you on Wakeup, like compared to the Oki game. Yeah. How do you feel Balrog fares? Because he doesn't necessarily have a ton of, his meaties aren't spectacular, I don't think. So where does kind of Balrog fare in that sort of like dichotomy, I guess?
I think maybe his strength overall is not in his meaties, like you said, but the fact that he gets most setups from throw, and also on Wakeup you can actually react to the character waking up, I think that actually makes up for it because there's player skill in it. There's not just autopilot stuff. Like when I played Nekali, there was setups that I could just do without even thinking. Now with Balrog, I can at least put my mind to work, and also I thought his defense was pretty bad, but I should not be in that position. I should be able to anti-air, I should be able to counter poke and all that stuff. So I feel it's mostly the player with the character, not the character with the player. Yeah.
That was something that we did talk about before. So like, did Balrog kind of like having a Balrog that felt good to you make you, I guess, like Street Fighter 5 more?
Yeah, I still think the game needs some tweaks. I feel that they need to take off the input delay. This is very annoying, at least me as a player. I'm a reactionary player, so it's very hard for me to adapt overall. But I actually have my character back. I feel complete. I feel comfortable with him. I feel that I can do what I used to do before and just adapt a little bit to the game. So I think it's awesome, to be honest. I'm really happy that Capcom actually released him before EVO, and they actually allowed him. So, yeah.
Do you think that, do you feel like there might be a case of people just not being ready for Balrog, or do you think that, everybody who's good has probably done their homework on what he can and can't do?
I really don't know what to say about that because maybe they're ready, maybe they're not. 2 weeks is kind of a long time to actually do work and study the matchup, but there's also Ibuki. So I would say like 1 week for Balrog, 1 week for Ibuki, for them to actually acquire the knowledge. Because even me, when I play against Balrog, I'm still kind of, like at a loss. I don't really know what he's doing because people play crazy or they play very good or very defensive, So it's like both ways. I maybe have an advantage over people, but also that advantage they can take over me,
What is then, obviously you've been practicing, you've been playing Balrog. What is, I guess, is Evo prep different from you from other tournaments, or is it just, the regular practice regimen?
Definitely, it's different from other tournaments. I actually took off 2 weeks from work. I told my manager, hey, I need I need 2 weeks. The character came out that I need to train him, etc. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I trained 2 weeks, nonstop, maybe like 8 hours a day, figuring stuff out. We have a Balrog group and we share tech. Shout out to Javits, FYI. He's the guy to look for Balrog stuff. So other than that, it's been just playing matches, playing with people, playing with Justin a lot, and a bunch of my friends. We think we practice enough for me to actually be ready against other players.
Is there anybody in particular you might be looking forward to like playing this weekend, or maybe even like a matchup you think is like, hey, I want to show that this matchup's actually like pretty good for Balrog?
It's very hard to say because the character's still new, and I might have a tier list, but it's probably not even right. But I do want to show to people that I was actually wrong saying that the character was bad, because I think he's actually very strong. So hopefully I can show it this weekend. It's like World Series of Poker, right? but I will try my best to show people. And I'm really excited to do it.
Awesome. And so, sort of a last thing, this is, I think for a lot of people, this is a huge tournament, like biggest Evo ever, biggest Street Fighter Evo ever. This is a lot of people's first tournament. This is my first time doing Evo, first time competing in Evo. Do you have any advice for a first time, like somebody who's like their first time going to, a tournament this huge?
I'm gonna say something. Just don't get nervous, but that's very hard to not get nervous in a tournament like this. Just think that the other opponent is a human. He's the same as you. He can make mistakes. Just punish those mistakes and be ready to punish very easy. Other than that, drink a lot of water.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
no
good luck
problem.
this weekend.
Thank you very much.